Hi, and welcome to another edition of Drifting Through Smoke. I am your host, Smokingfoxsays, and always by my side is Culturaldrifter. We are coming live from the, well, not really live, but we're coming to you from the internet portal, space, and time. On this week's edition, we will be doing American Horror Story. We have watched 4, 5, and 6, and we will be trying to combine, talk about all of them and cover all the points that we wanted to, see off. So,
what do you got? What do you got for us?
Well, I as I was reviewing the notes, because we've watched these every day. We've made a point to watch. We watched the new episode, which was episode 6 this week. And then every day after work, we watched an episode and kind of, took down notes. It is now Sunday when we're recording this, of October 15th. And it's also our 3-month anniversary for our wedding. Newlywed anniversary. Newlywed status. Anyway, and so upon recouping my notes just this moment ago, I've realized that this is really, it starts off, the day after election. That's the title of episode 4, 11/9, which is the day after the election. And this is where we start to see Kai is really starting to build his cult. The first episode is 11/9, and you see him, he is going after the here and now, after the election he's going after Harrison.
Yep.
And also Gary, who is the one-armed guy.
Gary.
Now let's just start it off. I mean, we'll circle back around to that, but let's Chaz Bono.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Bono.
The first time around that we watched it. Now, let me tell you, I grew up with Sonny Cher more so than Cultural Drifter.
Yes.
I watched a variety show on Nick at Night. I know about Chaz Bono, and I, wasn't paying attention when the credits were rolling, and I did not realize it until somebody brought it to our attention. The first time when I watched episode 4, I did not know. Even though I'm really good and at telling faces through people's eyes and knowing actors, I was just blown away by his performance, in that episode. I mean, it was just, I did not see, it was just, it was goal
good.
Accomplished. Accomplished. I mean, it was just, yes.
If I didn't know any better, I wouldn't, when on the scene where
raw power.
He's chopping off his arm.
Ugh.
I mean, holy mackerel. That's actually where the 3rd episode ended, right?
No, that's where episode 4 ends.
Oh, that's where episode
4 ends.
Oh, yeah, that's where episode, that's right,
yep.
episode
so
4. Are you going to watch, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Wow.
But,
yeah.
But in regards to that, I mean, just a powerful punch of a performance. But the statement in casting in such a role, I mean, is just so profound to have a transgendered person play that hardcore of a Trumpite.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm going to call him. A trumpeteer. To have literally, to the irony of the scene of just the grabbing of the pussy.
Yeah.
And it to be the raw power of the performance is, it's just everything that our, just world should be. It was magical. Chaz Bono is magical.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we need more of him. More of him.
Great addition.
More of him. But anyway, circling back, right? So 4, 5, and 6, really though, we are seeing him build his team. The only people we don't see backstory yet is Detective Silver and that camera guy who unfortunately gets nails in his head in, I believe it was episode 5, as he recruits Beverly. So the season 5, episode 5 is him recruiting Beverly. And then, of course, episode 6 is the
nails.
recruiting of Ivy, and Meadow.
Yeah.
And it shows along there's a trend, as with any cult leader, of a promise of purpose. With Harrison, he's saying your muscle, your physique.
Yeah.
And he starts to build on the muscle. With Beverly, he calls her, you're the messenger. I need you to be the messenger.
Yep.
You know, and for the life of me, I would have to go back on my notes off the top of my head. I can't remember what Ivy and Meadow was, but I remember what Meadow was pissed off about is that he was saving the same exact lines to Ivy as he did to Meadow, which, you know, sprung the jealousy, which sprung the whole plan to tell Allie's character about the cult and put into events episode 6, which is the assassination attempt on Kai's character, which is all part of his, you know, diabolical plan. But, I mean, in all of these people, in all of these episodes, he's not only did the promise of purpose, but he's also done something to prove something, his loyalty to them, what he would do for them, and had them also prove what they would do for him.
Yeah.
In each little thing with,
for
you know,
sure.
and weaved throughout, you know, each of these 3 episodes. That was the main, you know, thing. And so maybe going forward, we'll see how Detective Silver comes about, you know, and stuff. So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll pass the baton.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. One thing that was overwhelming for me since we've seen Kai more, is almost every line out of his mouth is quote-worthy. You know what I mean? Like, everything. He has his spiel down. Because this is all rehearsed. Every single line that he is telling all these people.
No, it's not rehearsed. It's on the fly. That's just genius. He's just that genius. He's had time to watch. He's you know.
No, this is all prepared. That's why he's telling Ivy the exact same thing that he told Meadow. I'm sure it's the same thing that he told Winter.
No, Winter's his sister.
But
he came across, he showed that he was able to solve a problem for her. It was the same, it's the same thing. I will do something for you if you do something for me.
He has his speeches, though.
I'm not denying that.
He has those things memorized, and that's like the genius. Like, he has all this stuff in he knows exactly what he's going to say before he says it. And just everything is just
the chess master, you know, like every piece. So, the long game.
It makes me question though, like, is he or is it Dr. Vincent
being the puppet master?
I don't know. I can't decide between the two.
Who is
I was
thinking the same thing.
This cult, because like, does Ivy know that Dr. Freaking Vincent is? She's got to. She's
in the cult. She's got to. That they're brother and sister. Now and I wanted to get to that. That was my next point I was going to bring up, was his real backstory, because he gave everybody supposedly bullshit. It was in the Beverly scene, when we learned that he, the
pinky to pinky with Bev,
that they covered up, that his parents killed, and that Dr. Vincent was the driving force behind the cover up and behind the beginner of the pinky swear.
Right, yeah. You see, that's where the origins were within.
So I understand your thinking, because he seemed in this last episode when the assassination attempt, he seemed generally concerned as a doctor. And I mean, is he the real sociopath, or is it,
Right, yeah,
or is he just the opposite force? He maybe created Kai, but did not know his, what is his knowledge?
Correct. Yeah. So I don't know. So because you had made a previous prediction that Ivy may have been.
I knew that she was involved,
but you called it that she was in on it.
She had to. How the same thing that Meadow said. How would they have had access?
Right,
to that house.
You called that right from the get-go that Ivy
was all part of this.
I had to throw the props out to you there on that. But, yeah, who is actually main person, it's hard to say, man, between Dr. Vincent and Kai. I want to say Dr. Vincent, but I just don't know if everybody else is on board with that. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. Well, you know what? I'm going to make a point for Kai. I'm going to make a point for Kai and Kai's point that he's the cult leader. Okay? Only going back to this flashback with the parents. He actually has a degree in religious studies, which coupled with a sociopath, like he has his degree. His dad, he's at the dinner table eating the dad's, before the dad kills himself. He says, what, he's like, I got a degree in religious studies. I know he definitely said religious studies was the degree. I don't know if the dad said it or he said it, but I wrote it fucking down because that's his real degree.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's that. But the other thing is, so like, he lies a lot, and, he's
a wordsmith.
Yes, he says what he has to get the results that he needs.
Correct.
And what I want to know is whether, because it's hard to know what he actually believes or what he wants other people to believe. You know what I mean? So, like, but he said knowing stuff has no value anymore. When right before he shoots that...
Sally Kay?
Yeah, the commissioner, whoever's running against him.
Sally Kay.
Yeah, right before that, he goes, knowing stuff has no value anymore. Eventually the world's just going to be filled with beautiful people who just want to feel.
Exactly. And wasn't that the second time that he brought up Facebook? Because of...
Well, he brought it up twice during that, and I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Because one of them was, Facebook, you are old. Right, like these kids now, because believe me, with my students, they say, "Oh, Facebook, who uses Facebook?" My mom uses Facebook.
Exactly, Facebook has been taken over by the elderly, and that's why Facebook was. It's no longer is. It was.
Yes.
But Kai's performance as he was writing that suicide note, like, I cannot live with it. Oh my, he should win an award. Like, he needs to win an award for this season. Shazam. It is. It is
his
Ryan
season.
Murphy, he knows.
It's his season,
golden.
For sure. Now, the other thing is...
Say what about the second quote? I know you wrote probably the second thing about Facebook. Was that when she was like something about...
Of course they will. It's on Facebook.
Yes, like no one will
believe it. And then
the fucking, like suicide note was on, and it was like, of course it'll be a Facebook. And literally, that is such a twice, which makes me think that he is telling a social commentary on
for sure.
Our social media presence.
So many people, like, if they see it on Facebook... It's legit, and there's no factual basis for anything. People put random statistics on pretty images, and people take it as truth.
Yep.
75% of all Hispanics are rapists. If you put that on the freaking Facebook.
That's not
I mean, it's obviously not true.
False,
but you put it on a graphic with some fancy lettering on there, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that? A new study just showed."
But my whole thing is like, what is Kai's end game? Like, what does he want? Does he want he wants world domination? He wants power.
Yeah,
that. He just wants to be the most powerful. Is that and I think in the further episodes.
Well, when he was in the room with his mother.
Want you to be proud of me.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like, I'm going to be someone you can be
proud of. The duality of it. I mean, in regards to that, because when someone opposes him, even in the cult, he is switched from night to day. Like, hey, he goes from very loving and builds you up to you are fucking nothing. Fuck you.
Fucked up.
He is. The word that I liked was reactionary.
Reactionary, yes.
No, he's not. You're not a conservative. You're reactionary.
Yeah,
which I believe that Trump is. I think that is a form of politics. Like, you don't watch the show either, but Frank Underwood, unfortunately, is a reactionary. In regards to his politics. House of Cards. Yeah, also a hashtag badass show.
Yeah. For sure.
But. I feel like that's all that politics is now. It isn't left or right. It's just reaction.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah, people breed fear, off of the teeniest, tiniest things, even though there may be nothing to fear, but
yes, and in the same thing though, there was a statement. I mean, like it just the way that it was worded, it really didn't. She was saying that. Kai and Trump were not garbage. They were the flies that were drawn, that was like a weird, drawn to the garbage, and that they really needed to get down to hauling away the garbage. But, like, what the fuck garbage? Like, then what is the garbage?
I would say the
Fear?
garbage is...
Is the garbage fear?
I
Say that out loud again, I say that the garbage is fear. That's because I had no fucking idea when I said that sentence 2 seconds ago. But because it's like, then what's the garbage if Kai and Trump are not garbage?
I just figured it meant, like, the stupid people that put them in positions of power. You know what I mean? Like...
But that's like even for you to say stupid people to put them in power, like, they're not technically stupid. Like, no one's bad.
The misinformed.
They just misinformed, I guess. I would say fear and misinformed, but it was like half. He did win. It was half the fucking country.
Right. You're probably right.
It's just like, but how can you blame them? He is a reactionary. Like, he breeds on... Stupidity. But it's kind of like what, and maybe it's like a farce on, like, how Trump ran, in regards to that.
For
and
sure.
that he's like fear-based and, and also
absolutely.
In that one, we find, that it wasn't, it's an illusion that it was water trucks that were coming around.
Oh, yeah.
That they were poisoning the birds, that they were putting them at other locations to breed fear. All actions to bring on fear. But I would like to, Sally Kay, and there's hope in her death, because she's saying, you're a spasm in democracy. And that's what truly, this is. Just like, what we thought of Bush. Like, by the time we have our grandkids, it's like, oh gosh, remember when that fucking mentally ill, mentally ill, neurotic, ignorant person won the presidency?
Yep. Hopefully.
Because our schools aren't funded enough, because we can't educate properly, because we don't pay our educators enough. I'll get off my soapbox. Anyway, back to American Horror Story.
Now, the one thing that we've noticed also throughout all the episodes are the pills that Kais are taking.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, the Brother Vincent's got to prescribe him, you think, right?
Yeah, so, which makes me lead in towards,
like, did he know that they killed the coffin people? Like, did Dr. Vincent? Because we still don't know that.
I see, but the thing is, he said something. Oh, it was when Allie walked out of his office.
Uh-huh.
And she called, she said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
He was just like, damn it. You know what I mean? Like, I fucked up. Like, she's not doing what we want her to do. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, he said, damn it. So I'm like, somehow, so that means he knows that she's not buying into this is all in your head, because they're trying to make her seem crazy so that way she doesn't get Oz.
That's also true. That's also what we learned, is that Oz, when Ivy, what was promised to Ivy in this cult is that, he offers Winter. Hey, you want my sister? Like, I'll let you know. And she goes, well, not without my son.
Yeah,
so
right.
It doesn't, lead it seem that, her and Winter.
But is it Kai telling Dr. Vincent, hey, I need you to make this chick look crazy, convince her that this is all in her head? Or is it Dr. Vincent saying, this is what I'm going to do, you guys do all of this to her? You know what I mean? So, like, who's at the helm? You know what I mean?
Or does he know it all? Or does he know it all? I mean, if, because he could... we've already established in these episodes that Kai's a people watcher. So he could have just watched people going in and out of his brother's practice.
Do you think
he could have set up originally for the brother to take the fall instead of Allie. It was convenient.
Do you think it was that it seemed as though Dr. Vincent knew who Meadow was? Or did you think it was him pretending
It was
to
on the
not
fence.
know,
It was
right?
so on the fence the way they played it. Cheyenne Jackson, I've got to Delight. I've got to say Delight. Cheyenne Jackson.
Yeah.
He is a delight this year. I mean, he's really... Hotel, he was Will Drake, and they've been peppering him in more. But this is a sensational character for him this year.
I really like the way he's playing in this season.
But I don't know. I don't know. I cannot call that. I cannot. Yeah. It's like one of those, I don't know. Let's talk about Ivy, why she, why she's in it. You think because this whole time, throughout all these episodes, whenever you see Ivy and Allie together, she seems stressed, financially about the restaurant. Come to find out, the restaurant is the only thing that she left Allie. It's in her name. It's, she froze her out. Right. Even Allie, comments, it's like she's been planning this.
Yeah, she did say that.
It was that it was almost as if planning it. But the resentment, and it was always like money troubles. You're not helping out. Maybe a little bit frustration with the mental, But in the last, episode 6, you see that that Oz's technically birth mother is, Allie. And Allie was, and is kind of a complainer in general. She seems like she's been a very heightened character because of the heightened situations. But she seems on the reg, like, when she was like making the comment, like, I don't want to use those rebel nipples, like, about the, that she was kind of a little bit annoying with like little isms and like little pet peeves that would have gotten under people's skins.
And Ivy, what did Ivy say? The bullshit
phobia. She calls that, but it was mainly that, she did not,
felt herself a better mother because she was the one that gave birth to him.
And she didn't really rejoice in it didn't sound like she rejoiced in the pregnancy at all. Like it was more of a pain. It was more of a
to her.
It was a burden.
It would have been a pleasure.
It would have been a blessing to Ivy, and then to go through that where it was like, oh, she's gonna like hate the birthing process, and then to hog the kid. I mean, that would be but to it's just gosh. Sad, but for in that second, I did see, I do feel for Ivy because you can see where Allie seemed a little bit, someone that you've got to be, difficult to deal with, have to be sensitive to, cognizant of feelings. They're very, vulnerable and
Sure.
Sure.
Now, and when all of this started because Allie didn't want to go to that rally with her.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's where it all started.
That's where I guess the straw was broke, and it was that led into, because Meadow says, well, when she's trying to convince, it's like she believes in nothing. And it's like, well, that's the point. You have to believe in nothing, and that's when Kai enters. So at that point, it's like 8 years. The kid's 8 years old.
Have room for him.
The kid is 8 years old. She has been living that life for 8 years. Of course, it's only going to take one tiny act of the spouse not moving in that direction, of not going into the rally. And then ultimately, and that's what started it. I think she could have... It wouldn't got to the extent if she didn't vote for Jill Stein. That definitely seemed like that was like the fucking icing on the cake.
That was what really ticked her off when she found that out. This was just a long build on the rest was just a long build on resentment that she had towards Allie. Speaking of voting for Jill Stein, we have a list of who everyone voted for. Do we not?
Oh, we do.
Because I found some of it pretty funny and interesting.
Yes, we do. Let me go back to... because
this
they were all
at the beginning of episode 4, right? And we see them all in line.
Yes. So I'd also like to do the list of the clowns as well. So, of course, Chuckles was Harrison, which we had,
Chuckles was Harrison,
Brain is Detective Silver.
Yeah, Detective Silver.
Dollface, Meadow.
Well, before we continue on to that, we were with Harrison and Detective Silver there, right?
If you recall the podcast, we had talked about them fucking in the grocery store.
Yeah, we were trying to...
And that's why that...
And it was them. That's why they're... That's why they switched.
Yeah. Dollface, who was Meadow, who also we learned in episode 6, which is a little side note, which kind of like, skadoosh, is she slit Chang's throat.
Yeah.
And won the affection and Kai, and that spun that little romance. Han's voodoo chick is Beverly.
Yes.
Mohawk is Winter. Dickface, of course, is Kai.
Yes.
And the elephant is, of course, Ivy.
Ivy, yeah.
Now, for the votes, we have Bev. Now, of course, like that first scene, like everybody from, except, well, I mean, Dr. Anderson is there, but he's not in the line. And we'll start off with him. So Dr. Anderson's there. He's not in the line at the beginning, and he votes for Hillary.
Yeah, he votes for Hillary.
And then Bev is there. She's filming it, and the whole time her camera guy is in the cult already. We know that the camera guy is the one that gets the nails in the head. She's the camera guy at the beginning. He's the first camera guy that she has. The Beverly votes for Hillary. Winter is with a bunch of college girls in the line, and she votes for Hillary. Kai has rescued Chaz, who is Gary. And they both vote Donald Trump.
Right.
Allie makes a pledge right before entering the booth that she's not going to do it, and also pledges in line. I mean, like, in regards to that. But votes for Jill Stein. Yep. Meadow writes an Oprah. Serena, who is played by Evan Peters, is Lady in Real Life in Scream Queens. I know she's an Emma Roberts. She's a Julia Roberts niece. That's how I remember that. Anyway, she votes for Trump, who was also part of the reason why Kai was able to get Beverly, because she was, she had a breakdown over the Trump, supporters busting her newscast. Right. And young hot Serena jumped in and started fucking what's his face for my best friend's wedding. And then voted for Trump. Harrison voted for Gary Johnson. Or it might be Johnson. I kind of squiggled.
Yeah, it was. You're right. Gary something.
Yep.
I think I wrote it down somewhere.
And of course, Ivy voted for Hillary.
Now, Harrison. You're right. You mentioned it earlier. He was right from the get-go. He was made to be the muscle. Right from the very beginning, having him kill his boss, right, getting him primed and ready to just freaking get to freaking stabbing and murdering. You know what I mean? He must have already.
Here's my thing: is that he must have already had the detective on his side before even bringing Harrison on. And you know what? And I'm maybe sure that maybe Kai even did a little bit of sexy stuff with Detective Silver, maybe, and maybe that's what we'll see in maybe the upcoming episodes, because that's what he offered to Harrison.
No.
Was saying, hey, however you need to be served, I will serve. If you needed to get off, I'll get off.
Now, one of the very first things that Kai says to Harrison is, you could move a dead body if you had to.
Exactly.
I loved that. I was like, damn, he told him right from the get-go, like.
But they're both kind of the muscle. But they're both the muscle now, because you see when, they're trying to, when Meadow, tries to make a run for it, and, they are both.
Yeah, that's
so that, I think that maybe Kai, had trouble with the law, got maybe hanky-panky out of it and culted this guy first. Probably. Detective Silver. But we have not seen, that's who we have not seen, get into.
And that was the first, with Harrison, you see, that's where they first announced that Kai is, like, the cult. Because he does the smiley face.
Yes.
And that's the first link with the murders and Kai, and then he.
So at this point, I feel like I wrote that down. Yes. At this point, the sign has been made in so many substances. It was first made in steam, paint, spray paint, and then blood.
Yeah.
And little continuity. The sign when when Allie is rescuing Meadow, she exits off the side of the house that earlier in the episodes 1, 2, or 3.
In a ballsy bitch move.
Yeah, ballsy bitch with a mace, knife and mace taken off. the sign is gone. The Skadushi is gone. It doesn't even look painted over. I mean, you can't even. There's no sign of it.
Yeah.
He said disappeared. A magic.
So who knows? Maybe they got it off, but.
Yep.
But
And then actually, going back, the significance also with the Ivy and Winter thing was that, okay, of course, Winter knew that Kai could solve problems because of the parents' death. He was able to keep them going to college, keep sustained. She knew that he could depend on that.
Right.
But Winter, in that, it was also, I want to say maybe in the first episode maybe in the sixth one. I'm not sure. But she returns and returns that night from the election. And Kai's like, what'd you do? And she's like, I hurt someone. And she's like, how'd it feel? Good.
Very first question.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
And it is, and so that may be, also was like, hey, I've got the support of my sister, now also, the build of it, because that also, but that Winter came into it on her own, but now you can see why, because, she was a little bitch that only called when she needed money, according to Shy, Dr. Vincent, who just was amazing. And then you see where now, I mean, here's the thing, is just like the most important, Ivy is still, important. I feel like it's, to Kai, I feel like that maybe, that's
and she's, and Ivy might be the one to turn. I don't know yet. She's the weak link now. Ivy is.
Because Meadow's gone?
No, because...
Well, because she did see, in the bathroom, there was hesitation, but we don't know what she would have done, because Harris said, let's move, when she's at Sally Kay's house. When she opened the last scene of the last episode.
Now, did Meadow shoot Harrison? Was that who was trying to grab Ivy? Like,
in the beginning...
I couldn't remember. Was it some random dude?
No, in the beginning of episode 6, yes, it is Harrison who's like, grabbing Ivy. But that wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about the end when Ivy walks in the bathroom and she's like checking the house. Mm-hmm. She sees Allie. And then we don't know what she would have done, because Harrison says, all right, we got to move. And then they leave. And then, of course, the next shot is like the next day at the rally. Right.
But I don't think... that's what I'm saying. Like, Ivy's the weak link. She didn't even say anything.
But here's the thing: is like they wanted to, it was a gift to, they make her look crazy so that, she could get Oz. That was promised for her in the cult. But now it's, now they have, she's probably going to go to jail. Or here was my other thing: how it ended with season. Let me scratch that. Episode 6, how it ended. It's like it ended and she had the gun in her hands. Mm-hmm. So it's like, did they or did they not, law enforcement, in the next episode, well, I guess we'll see, did they see, Meadow shoot herself, or are they going to pin the whole thing on Allie? And that's where I was bringing it to, where I believe Ivy is important to Kai, because, Allie has been a remarkable pawn in all this, and she's played right into his hand the whole time. Unexpectedly. She's like an unexpected gift in all this, because Dr. Winter was just saying, like, trying to defer her behavior that last episode, and she just played right into it, the person that she is. So that's why I'm saying it must have been of in-depth, how would, from watching and talking with Ivy. I don't know. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ivy's gonna flip. I think she's gonna go against the cult, and that's gonna be the in that Allie gets, because she hesitated, and I know that she didn't say anything to them about seeing her. I know that.
Yeah.
So we'll see, because right now at the end, right there, Ivy's there sitting on the gurney, on the stretcher there, at the end, and as probably a witness to what happened. So what is she gonna say? I saw the Meadow shoot everyone, or is she gonna say she's gonna that Allie did it? Because to say Allie did it, well, now, because she doesn't want to hurt Oz, but now Oz is gonna have to go have a murderer for a mother, right? That's gonna be in prison for the rest of her life.
And she expressed concerns when they were headed off to, kind of do the thing with, I forget, Bob, maybe from the news station.
Yeah, I get how this works. That's what Ivy said. Like, I understand. She just doesn't want Oz to, because remember when at the meeting with Kai when they were first introduced, she's like, I don't want Oz. He's like, have you considered murder?
Yeah.
Just fucking kill her, and then you don't have to worry about it. She's like, no, I don't want Oz to have to go through that pain. Well, I know she doesn't want, because I don't think anyone was expecting Allie to do what she did. That was very out of character considering where they were guiding her. They were creating fear. They were crushing her. And now she's like, I'm not fucking crazy. She goes, I know all this shit. And now she's storming out because Dr. Anderson wanted to keep her there. You know what I mean? So now she took off, and so it's all in Ivy's. It's all up to Ivy. What she's gonna say.
and I love to say that I for our listeners that I just said that put in my own words 10 seconds ago. But I think that Ivy's gonna hold true. I think that there's a little bit more backstory and there's a little bit more of a promise with Guy. But that's fine because we'll see who
we're gonna see. I think she's gonna flip.
You think she's gonna flip?
I don't. Blame it on Meadow.
I don't. Think of what Allie has put her through. 8 years of that. My son.
I know, but I don't think she's gonna want Oz to live through that and see his. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, but also we've got to think that this whole time this makes sense why Winter is showing him, desensitizing Oz. It's because he is a cult child. You know what I'm saying? Literally.
Starting him young.
Yeah. And, is that to What's-Her-Face's knowledge? Riddle me that. Is that to Ivy's knowledge that Winter would be showing him that material?
Yeah.
So it's because if she has, then that falls into my category that, hey, she's already fucking suiting her kid up with armor.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, you may be right on that one.
Kai Anderson is a persuasive, suave sociopath.
Yeah.
And he has a pattern of either creating situations or finding people in situations that are at literally their brink, that are having nothing either to lose or nothing to live for.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess she is going to turn Allie in. That was the whole thing. Because, what Kai said
everybody knew about, that's the whole thing.
Because I just read one of the quotes that he had said, is we'll just have to make sure that no court would ever grant her custody.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is
that makes sense as to why,
plus it launches him to the national level, you know what I mean?
Well, here's the question. When did Allie start seeing Dr. Vincent?
It sounds like she's been there for
a while. So it's were they patients, now my whole pachoom, because now, hey, that kind of draws into what you said about Dr. Vincent being the fucking ultimate cult leader or being the puppeteer behind it. Maybe Kai's the mouthpiece, you said.
Like he said, this is the chick.
But how long? I need it, that hasn't been answered, right? How long he's.
No, you don't really know about, how long.
Because the day after the election, which is the first episode, she's in his office, and it's it seems like it appeared, correct me if I'm wrong, that they had been seeing each other for more than one episode.
Yeah. Well,
not episode, a session.
Well, what was the last election that happened that she freaked out? Or what, remember, she said that the last time she freaked out was
9/11. It was before 9/11.
So 9/11 is 2001, and it seems like the doctor was there for that.
because she goes, and you got through it. And she goes, no, Ivy got me through it. Ivy's been there. But it's like, how long has Allie been seeing it? And now that you're talking about it and I'm rethinking about it, the questions, and I'm sure that, and we're not watching that episode again, but I'm sure if we watched it, the dialogue between the two could have been on the fence where you could really, because that's how Ryan Murphy is. He is a storyteller. He weaves stories. So it could have been
with the dialogue where
with the first dialogue in the first episode after the election, what we're currently talking about with Allie and Dr. Vincent when she's in the freaking office. We were just talking about it. What I'm saying is that now that you're making me think about it, we're not going to watch it a third time, but I'm saying that if we went back, I'm pretty sure the dialogue between Allie and Dr. Vincent in the office on that day would have been obscure enough that we would not have been able to tell if it was a first appointment. Because now that I'm thinking about it, those kind of questions, it's why would you, I don't know, they could be first time questions and not timer questions. I know, because I went to see a few therapists in my life and psychiatrists and, whatever. So I kind of,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
But it was, I don't know, exciting. I mean, there's how many episodes? 11? Is that what we...
No, I think there's more.
No, there 13.
I'll tell you here in just a second.
I feel like I wrote it down,
I
but...
want to say that there's 13. But I will verify that here.
Oh, and it's also in 2014. That's the year that, they flash back to when the parents of Kai Anderson are dead. It's 2014. So it has been...
2 years.
2014? 2017?
Well, from when it was voting.
No, I'm saying in the year 2014, that's when Kai's parents die.
Yeah.
So that was
3 years ago from present day, but if you're talking about when the voting was happening and stuff like that, that was in 2016.
So it was right after that. But we didn't say the date on that.
Yeah.
But so it was a few years. So it could have been after that. So it was, from 2014 to 2000 and, right before election night, 2016, 11/9, he had done a little bit of prep. He had done some prep work. That's
sure. Oh, for
sure. That's the time frame that he had to start these plans.
He said that he said his practice was in its infancy. Right, in 2014.
That's true. So it could have been.
They could have been a few years, only a few years.
And he could have seen Allie on the, thing. It could have been a small world. It could be a small world in regards to that.
Yeah, so the max he could have been seeing her is 2 years, maybe 3, tops.
Yeah.
That he's been with Allie.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. There's the timeline established right there for how long
they've known each other. I knew we'd get there. I knew we'd get there. Yep.
So obviously, Dr. Vincent Carr and all that good. Let's talk a little bit about Beverly. Man, she had some angst to get out, because Kai saw her on the news, right? That's how he selected her, and because she had left, right? And they had that bad freaking video, that horrible. It was a bad song. Remember they did that song about the auto tune?
There have been better ones. There definitely been better ones.
It was awful, and I'm guessing it was awful on purpose. That's because it was pretty rough to listen to.
It's also part of the problems of our times as well, that those are a common occurrence at a news.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
A news thing would have audio tune on it. I have a few downloaded on my phone, Hide your kids, hide your wife. I have a few of them. They're...
And it was actually to Beverly that he said that he needed a great messenger.
That's what I said.
Yeah, right? So, they will set the world on fire for us, right? Because she wants equal power with Kai. You know what I mean?
She was the one that got him to confess about the parents.
Right. She's different than the rest of them.
I would say she's on the same intelligence level.
Yeah.
And she has the same rage.
Yes. And
but Kai might not even have rage. You know what I'm saying? I think he just wants power. You don't have to have rage to have power or want power.
But I mean, when he was yelling at Meadow,
You may accumulate rage on the journey to power, but I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
I mean,
Bev's definitely rageful.
Oh, yeah.
But all the times also going back. I'm sorry, I didn't. When in going in regards, he's recruiting his team. Every time that when he met Beverly, they met in the butchery.
Yes.
They were using the butchery.
Yeah, they were in
the whole
Allie's restaurant.
Time.
Yes. And they never aired that Serena kill video. All right, when we watched her, which was a blow to the cult. They were really hoping that that went viral and they would never freaking release that. Let me see here. What else do we got?
I would say that's about covers it. Oh, you know what? Okay, let's close it up with this. Great subject to close it up on. The fucking GIMP. I'm going to close my notebook because that's the last subject we're going to talk about. Okay. I only know about GIMPs from Pulp Fiction, okay? And I know, when we watched the episode, I was like, okay, we're going to save this for the podcast, this conversation podcast. That's the only thing I know about GIMPs is Pulp Fiction, right? So, this guy's hanging there, with fucking meat hooks. The camera guy's like, he can't hear, he can't see anything. Question one, is this like a voluntary thing? Is this but is there a chance that it could not have been a voluntary thing? When someone says the word GIMP, that means that person voluntarily fucking signed up for that shit?
Yes. He was the master, and that was his GIMP.
But, that is crazy.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
why? Why you gotta be hanging? Who?
Their pain and pleasure are very closely related. And some people, he could be, orgasming that whole time, you know what I mean? That GIMP as he's hanging there. Yeah. I mean, some people get off from it.
Oh, my God.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it was and what I don't understand, is the guy was when they cornered, Bob, he's like, I can make it right. I've got a GIMP upstairs, or no one would know. I've got a GIMP. I don't even know.
No, he's like, no one would.
No one would know, or no one would care, or
no one would look after
that.
it.
I have a GIMP. It was
no one would look after it.
Yeah.
Because what episode did he die in? Was that the first one?
No, that was the second one. That was the one.
The second one, the
whole. You wanted to. Yeah, hold on. Gosh, I really did not want to fucking open this up.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't write it down what he said.
Hold on, let me.
I only wrote down what Beverly, or what Kai said to him. I'll show no substance. Shink.
No one will take care of it. That's exactly what he said.
That's what I thought he said.
That's what I wrote. No one will take care of it.
Yeah.
His GIMP. And I'm like, GIMP, hanging, can't sing or hear, wants to be cut down. Oh my God. And then I'm like, forced, voluntary. What the fuck is that? What the fuck does that mean?
It's a voluntary thing.
That's some gross shit, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, each their own.
To each their own. Definitely. Different strokes for different folks. I guess, as long as that dude's there voluntary, but
it was consensual.
But whoa.
That is just extreme BDSM.
And people say magic don't exist. I think the fucking, and people say magic ain't in the real world. Someone that would think who gets off on that, there is a little bit of a magic quality on that, because it's a sick magical quality. I'm not dependent, but that's crazy.
Yep.
That's so crazy. I'm sorry. I put my hands up on that thing. If it was rah, rah, rah.
So,
I'm tired. Anyway,
that's with the we'll GIMP on out of here. Make sure to keep checking the blogs. We have smokingfoxsays.weebly.com and culturaldrifter.weebly.com. Make sure that you leave comments. Let us know if you want us to watch anything. And,
comment on anything.
we're here for you guys. So,
And a little bit for us.
well,
But
yeah, mostly for us, but we just say we're here for you just to make ourselves feel less crazy. So,
Yes. In internet world.
with that, that's drifting through smoke for this
And
week.
I bid you adieu.
Yeah, keep on drifting.
Through the smoke.